All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And we're coming to you around the world on the Xzone Broadcast Network and our vastly and growing family of broadcast terrestrial radio stations and satellite providers around the world. Exonation, my guest this hour is a gentleman by the name of Sebastien Blue. And Sebastien he loves reading, let me just put it that way, of worldwide classical literature and a huge fan of horror movies since he was a boy. His love for foreign folklore and mythology inspired him to launch his first book series. Blue is a strong believer that, in addition to providing entertainment, young adult books should provide empowering and encouraging messages. Now, rising from an impoverished background and facing struggles with dyslexia, Sebastien Blue's ultimate goal is to promote literacy and creativity. And we're going to be talking to Sebastien this hour about his book, Liquid Diamond. His website is www.sebastianblue.com, and Sebastien is coming to us from his home in Peterborough, Ontario. Sebastien, welcome to the X Zone.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Sebastien. Liquid Diamond, tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, Liquid Diamond's a young adult book. It's meant to inspire effort in girls, because the hero is in fact female, and she's very clever and intelligent and brave, and she's complicated, but she's a typical girl, I think. She ends up slipping into a different dimension through a liquid diamond portal. She runs into a troublemaking little boy right off the bat. His name is Catalyst, who accuses her of stealing crystals out of a base that keeps the liquid diamond solid as it slows down its molecules to a stop. He drags her before a king, and she is then charged with the responsibility of retrieving them, as the king, or the kingdom itself, has a history with humanity and has learned not to trust humans for pillaging and war and killings that they had committed once they had come up with the musket. They went to war with this place in order to obtain its riches, as mankind often does. And she sets off on her adventure with Catalyst to retrieve the crystal. And that's the gist of the beginning.
Where did your love for folklore, mythology, monsters, the strange, and the bizarre come from?
Well, as a child, I really enjoyed Frankenstein and the Wolfman and those types of books. They just captured my attention, and I used to get into the McBride movies on the Friday night with Elvira, and I enjoyed the Abbott and Costello of it all because it was frightening for a child to watch this, and it was intriguing, and it just drew me in.
I have to ask you, if it was frightening, why did you watch it?
Because it was frightening, and I enjoyed the fear.
Son of a gun! Now
sit there all. Oh, I'm sorry.
You sit there all alone?
Yeah, in the dark, and I'd watch these things, and then I got into the Friday the 13th, and I mean, up until about, 2 years ago, I was still having nightmares of Jason trying to kill me.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
I would imagine you're the kind of guy that really loves roller coaster rides and any other ride that scares the hell out of you.
Oh, yeah, it feels good. You get a good adrenaline rush.
Hey, listen, Sebastien Blue, you and I have to take a commercial break. Please stand by. Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Sebastien Blue. He's the author of Liquid Diamond. His website is www.sebastianblue.com. That's www.sebastianblue.com. And Sebastien and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break in 2 minutes as we continue our trip through the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network and our many broadcast partners and affiliates. Send me your email. Tell me what you think. If you've got a question for the guest, if you'd like to have a guest on the show, just send me the information to xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled lite.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Explanation, Sebastien Blue is our special guest this hour. We're going to be talking about magic portals, adventure, and gore this hour. He's got a new book out called Liquid Diamond. And 10-year-old Natalia falls through a cave portal known as the Liquid Diamond and lands in the world filled with mythical creatures. Here amongst a bunch of elves and other creatures of the dark and of the deep, she meets Catalyst, a boy of half-human, half-vampire hunter descendant. Fascinating story. What was your inspiration for writing this book?
A woman, actually, named Natalia Shurkaskaya. You see, getting onto the dyslexia part of the whole thing, I can read very well, and because of that, I didn't know I couldn't spell all that well. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably was at about a 4. And I met this girl off of a international date site, and she was living in Russia, in Yekaterinburg, and I filled out the applications to try and get her over here on a visa or to get me over there. And because I can't spell, the applications, and they don't tell you why they're rejected. They're just rejected if you make a single mistake. So what had happened is I ended up losing contact with her because she, didn't feel she could trust me, because everything in Russia happens overnight. Here in Canada, it's like 8 to 12 weeks. And I felt that because of what happened, that she needed an apology, and I wanted to write a book, so I just decided I'd make her the main character, and I wrote around her. And when I finished the first copy of this is when I realized I really don't know how to spell all that well, through rejections and everything else. And then when I sat down to rewrite it, because I thought, okay, I'll clean it up a bit and take another crack at it.
Sure.
That's when I discovered I couldn't write or spell. And so I ended up rewriting it again with a couple of dictionaries that I had found down in my lobby, because I didn't really have a whole lot of money at the time, and I couldn't afford expenditures like that, because I was in a car wreck about a decade ago, and I've been living on Ontario disability since then. So when I found these dictionaries, I was able to use them, and I opened them up enough to be able to wear the covers on them. But I would say I went from about maybe a 4 to maybe about a 4.5, 5, and being improvement in spelling. But she was the inspiration for it, and it was just my way of apologizing to her,
Does she know what you've gone through to try and apologize, and the personal dedication that you've given to your project because of her?
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell you whether she would know about it or not. Like I say, she just went away, right? But the important thing is that it's there. If she ever Googles her name, she'll find it. And she's very handy with a computer herself. And I mean, it's not impossible. It's probably just not probable. But no, but that was the reason for it, And since I was into gore and all of that, and still am, and I just wrote around what I knew, and I put in the European description of these creatures, like the Bassionic, which is really just a Bigfoot. The Blemmy is a mindless cannibalistic eating machine. You've got cockatrices. They're just mythical birds out of the Bible, to tell you the truth. You've got the Acquittals, which are just acid-spitting snakes. It's just a bunch of gore, and I tried to make it really gross for children and whatnot. But case in fact,
you tried to make it gross for children.
Yeah, just nice and easy. But I see, when I originally wrote this, I wrote it for 8 to 10-year-olds. I was informed later by Friesen Press that it should be marketed to young adults.
Yeah.
Because of the content. So I'm like, yeah, okay, then there you go. That's it. But yeah, that's basically the inspiration was a woman.
So your book, entitled Liquid Diamond, is more of a love story than most people would ever know, even though it's about gore, monsters, magic portals, adventure, and much more.
Yeah, and blood and pus and filth and just gross.
So
but
my understanding that Natalia is the female, and would that make Catalyst you?
No, he's just some troubled little boy who's, the girl's got to have a companion, a guide, and since he's lived there for like over 150 years, you see, I played with the time factor where for every 20 days that goes by, the body in that dimension only ages 1 day. And so he's been kicking around a while. He's just 10, that's all, because of the time passage. But I was able to explain that in there. I did it really quickly. A few people that I've talked to about it had missed it. But then again, they were only quickly glancing at the book. They never actually read it when I was doing previous interviews.
Right.
So, but he's just some kid.
I understand that you're a strong believer that in addition to providing entertainment, young adult books should provide empowering and encouraging messages. What empowering and encouraging messages are found in Liquid Diamond?
Well, most of that stuff is based around the girl. It's herself. She's able to solve the riddles before Catalyst gets through it. She outthinks him. She strives harder, and she's just got the ability to get things done. And basically, in the real world, a woman will work 10 times harder than a man for 75% of the pay, right? And so I tried to incorporate that kind of strength within her. She can do it, and it doesn't mean anything in regards to her gender. She's got the ability, and she exercises that. So that was the message coming across in there.
I understand that your ultimate goal is to promote literacy and creativity. How are you going to do this?
Well, I'll get the book out there and let people know that I'm dyslexic, and I wrote a book, and I'm writing another one, and 2 more after that. All I got to do is open up the dictionary a couple of thousand times for each book and get the words right. And as long as I can do that, the dyslexia, it doesn't hold me back. It just slows it down a little bit, but it doesn't stop it.
For our listeners who may not know what dyslexia is, what can you describe it to them?
Well, I can read, but the part of dyslexia that I suffer from is not being able to really spell. Because I could read and read very well, I never realized I couldn't spell that well. And because of that, it went on for years where these mistakes were happening. And I can only imagine what my applications must have looked like when I was applying for jobs, but nobody ever pointed it out to me that this was a problem. So, some people can't spell and read, but I can read. I just can't spell all that great. And that's a bit of a hindrance, but I'm working straight through it with the help of 2 dictionaries.
Tell me, what about when you were going to school, elementary school, high school? Wasn't anything discovered by your teachers?
Yeah, I'm sure that they absolutely did know. But, those kids that slip through the cracks? Well, I was the one that was pushed through it. Just a lot of grief, I guess, with me, and they didn't want much to do with it.
But what about your parents? What about your relatives? Didn't they notice that there was a problem with the spelling?
Well, you grow up, I guess, in a house where there's not a lot of encouragement, things like that, and you've only got the one parent that's there, and you're surrounded by poverty and everything else. Nobody's going to take the time to point that out. That family in the neighborhood, the one that nobody wants there because they don't have the financial status as everybody else. Well, we were that family. And, it's basically who cares, right? And this is one of the things that I do care about because when I see it even in Peterborough here, where there's a lot of poverty, I see all this potential in these children, and it's just like somebody, if you just pump their ego a little bit, it'll get a lot better over the course of time.
Where do you think the problem lies? Do you think the problem lies at home, or do you think the problem lies in school, or is it a combination of both?
Oh, it's absolutely a combination of both. Plus, it's a combination of the playground as well, because the kids know, and so at school the teachers are lacking. In the playground, they're usually, I wouldn't say usually, but a lot of times they're singled out. And at home, if the poverty is thick and there's no encouragement, there's just no encouragement, and there's no growth that way because everything is ignored and it lacks at that point. So, I see it all the time. It happened with me. I recognize it everywhere. And if they just take 5 minutes and pump the kid's ego over the course of months to come, everything will get a lot better because the kid will be encouraged. Like if I had known this now or then, what I know now about my dyslexia, I would have tried to fix it a long time ago. But anyway, that's that, I guess.
I'm still amazed that nobody brought it to your attention. To me, that shows a big fallacy in the system. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're white, whether you're black, yellow, whether you're Anglican, whether you're Catholic, whether you're Muslim, you still should be treated the same.
Well, you got to understand, though, 35 years ago, the teachers aren't like they are today. They didn't have the education then for even them that they do now. Teachers are just better trained.
Yeah. Sebastien, please stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back. Exonation, Sebastien Blue is my guest this hour. He's the author of Liquid Diamond. His website is www.sebastianblue.com. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. Our website is xzoneradiotv.com. And you can always send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. Sebastien Blue is my guest. We'll be back on the other side of this news break. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone radio show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing for the X-Zone for the week of April 28th. The sun will look like a ring of fire above some remote parts of the southern hemisphere on Tuesday during a solar eclipse, but most people around the world won't get a chance to see it. Whereas lunar eclipses occur when there's a full moon, the solar eclipse only happens during a new moon. Half the world saw the blood moon lunar eclipse during the full moon of April 15th. Tuesday's eclipse will occur when the moon is closest to its farthest distance from the Earth, making it too small to cover the sun completely. The resulting effect looks like a ring of fire called an annulus, and that appears as a silhouette around the moon. Remember, when there's a new moon, there's no moon at all. The worldly application of a Taurus solar eclipse is to help you get in touch with your core values. It blocks out personal ego desires to go right to what your inner spirit wants to manifest. The opportunity is to bring higher values and greater beauty into your life now. The new moon and solar eclipse on Tuesday may send the world into a mild tizzy. Watch North Korea and the Ukraine for major upsets with government. But you will get another opportunity to consolidate whatever advantages you have gained over the past few months. A Taurus new moon is excellent for putting practical effort into your needs and desires. Health and wellness options get a boost early in the week, perhaps prompting you to consider a new diet or exercise routine. There's also positive news on the work front, as changes can mean a boost in earnings or a promotion. If you've been applying for a new job, you may get some good news. Later, Venus glides into Aries, which brings romance and pleasure. Look, your love life is looking much livelier. Enjoy a few social outings. It might help take your mind off some more stressful matters. Perhaps you want to make some changes in your home, new furniture, paint, whatever. Whatever comes your way, you'll probably put a lot of energy into it, so focus and accomplish what you want. Because there's lots of planets in unmovable signs, Taurus and Scorpio, as May opens on Thursday, be careful of stubborn my way or the highway thinking. Warrior Mars is still retrograde until May 19th. Consider what is dead in your life and needs to be released. Know that your highest path is shown if you go into your inner self to seek direction. Continue with hard work early in the week, and then make time for a variety of fun as the month of April ends under a Gemini moon. Gemini wants to keep things on the move, talk to a lot of people, and does not get bogged down in any one thing. Enjoy May Day and the Kentucky Derby on Sunday. Time to plan for some summer fun.
And for more information on Elizabeth Joyce, or if you'd like to contact Elizabeth for a one-on-one private consultation, she does worldwide readings via Skype. Her website is www.new-visions.com. Her email address is elizabeth.joyce.email@gmail.com. And her Skype address is elizabeth.joyce. Exonation, my guest this hour is Sebastien Blue. He's the author of Liquid Diamond. His website is www.sebastianblue.com. Sebastien, it sounds like you have a lot to offer the system, and I'm wondering if you've approached the educational system with your own experience and said, "Hey, wake up, listen, things have to change. This is my story, and I want to help."
No, actually, I personally haven't done that. You see, here in Peterborough, where I currently reside, like I grew up out in Mississauga. I moved out here about 10 years ago. They have an advocacy force out here for things like that, and they are manning a war against dyslexia in all its forms, and they shut down one of their high schools out here last year, and even Rick Mercer himself jumped on board with their campaign to fight to keep that in particular school open. And the war that they're waging, I'm so far behind in what they're doing that I fear I'd just be a hindrance to them, other than the fact that they could say, look, here's another one that it happened to. But if there was anything I could do for them, I'd absolutely do it. I mean, now that you bring that to my attention, maybe I should get in contact with these people and let them just know that it's there if they want to use it.
I think you should. I think you have a lot to offer.
Good idea. I think I'll get in touch with them, actually.
There you go, my friend.
What's tomorrow? Friday? I'll get in touch with them by the afternoon.
Listen, I have to ask you a question. During the commercial break, Craig asked me a question if I'd ask you, and he wants to know, and now I want to know too, ever since that he's asked the question, why did you go to Russia to find someone where there's plenty of single ladies in Canada?
Oh, I was just bored one day, and I was just on a computer that I had, and I was just browsing, and this site came up, so I clicked on it, and I looked at this, and I thought to myself, "Whoa, she looks great." And I said hello to her. She said hello back, and it just took off from there.
Wow.
That's all that was. It was just a fluke, really. But if you look at what happened and where I am now, I mean, was it a fluke? I mean,
destiny?
It might have had to have happened, you know. Well,
Fate?
not destiny. I mean, I'm not in love with this woman. Let's not go overboard here. I'm just trying to say I'm sorry to her for what I did.
But if you weren't in love with her, why would you write a book putting her as the main character? Why would you why would you wait a sec? Why would you go that far in doing what you did to say you're sorry if you didn't love this person? Why would you have filed the paperwork to get a visa or to visit her if it wasn't to love? You know, like, it's okay to love people.
No, I'm not saying I wasn't in love with her at one time. I'm saying I'm not in love with her today.
Oh, okay.
Like this is an apology. This you referred to it earlier as a love letter.
Yeah.
Well, in the most decent, cleanest sense, yes, a love letter. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't know I was doing it. But it's not a I'm in love with you. Please come back.
Right.
It's just, you know, I'm sorry. That's all. And if you can love a person, period, without it becoming physical and romantic, as it were, and you just want to care about them,
sure,
absolutely, I've got that for her.
Excellent. So what's the next book that Sebastien Blue is coming out with?
Right now, I'm working on Natalia's Return, which is the follow-up to Liquid Diamond, because it's a 4-book series, and I'm a good portion into it right now. I've got probably about 120 so pages of it written. See, I work off typewriters, so it's not so fast as going through computer.
Right.
So it'll be a bit before it's actually done. But after that, I'm going to start on the 3rd book in the series, which will be Ant-Man, and then after that, I'll be writing the Hardening event. So it's a 4-book series that I'm working on.
What was it like the first time you actually saw, or you actually held your very own book in your hands?
Oh, I was sick. I was puking and laughing and crying and dancing. I just, my whole life seemed to change at one point in time because of that accident that I was in. I had won a lawsuit that I was, a lawyer was executing on my behalf, and I had come into X number of dollars, and then the book was in my hand, and everything went from extreme poverty and food banks to the grocery store and new clothes and the book in my hand. Oh yeah, it was just awesome. It was just such a fantastic thing. I was so happy I couldn't even stand it because it was such a foreign feeling, right?
It sounds. This is why I was saying that I believe that you have so much to offer.
Oh, it's been a hard go. I mean,
and between you and me, my friend, not to share this story, your experience, it would be such a loss to people, to children who need guidance like this, who need a direction.
Like I said earlier, and I'll give you my word on it, by tomorrow afternoon I'll get in contact with the local, they're in the Blue Pages out here anyway. I'll get in contact with them for the literacy support program and let them know what's going on. And if they want to use it, I'll be more than willing to.
You know, you could also contact other organizations like the Salvation Army, the Red Feather, the Red Cross, your local school boards. I'm sorry, go ahead. No. I was just saying...
you go.
All right. I was just saying that there are so many organizations that are out there to help people and support people where you, I believe, are a valuable asset.
Well, thank you. And, we got the Salvation Army just about 5 minutes from where I live. And there's the welfare office on the way to them as well. And there's listings for literary support in the phone book and whatnot. And, I mean, by afternoon tomorrow, I'll reach out to somebody and I'll just talk to them and I'll explain to them that if they want to use whatever they can from me over this, that they're more than welcome to it, and just let them go with it if they want. If they don't, then I'll probably never hear from them again, because like I say, they've got an army out here doing this sort of thing. So,
but is the army accomplishing anything as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, actually, they've done a great deal to, like that, when I was talking to you earlier about this school that they shut down, and Rick Mercer was involved in and everything else, they took that whole school and they transferred it into a school about a mile away, and then they took that current school and they opened it up for adult education, where they send people on social assistance and whatnot there to further their own education, and they get it all for free. And these other children are out of a school that is extremely old, and they're into a more modern setting. And I guess that's what they were trying to reach with these kids, so that they could put them in a place that was more modern, had athletic fields and things like that, and give them a better opportunity. But the children that were removed from there, they started a campaign themselves and went on strike, and they fought for over a year to keep that school open, and everybody in town was on board. But when it came right down to it, it was the Board of Education themselves that said, look, this is a $1.7 million waste of money, or in and around that figure, and they shut them down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So it's not the board I'd be reaching out to.
Yeah. What do you think about the current genre of television when it comes to sci-fi and monsters, myths, and mysteries?
Well, you got a lot of, you got Space Station right away, Channel 50, right? You get lots of stuff on there like Star Trek and SG-1 and all of that sort of thing. They aren't bad, but these are like 10-year-old, 20, 30-year-old reruns.
Right.
But if you get, Buffy, which was a huge influence in the vampire genre, they now you got Beauty and the Beast, and that sort of thing. But lately, my attention in of itself has been tuned into the Sherlock Holmes series that they got out, Elementary.
Oh yeah.
That is intriguing for the mystery in of itself, and the reason why I like that particularly is because it really does make you think. Like, if you're going to try and beat them to the end of the puzzle, you really got to put your mind to it, and I enjoy that kind of puzzle solving, and I found that that's helped in my writing, because it puts me in a position where I have to expand my mind into other places that I normally wouldn't, and that's great. But as far as it goes for the current series of monsters that they've got on there, like in a Supernatural and whatnot, it's okay. Like, I mean, it doesn't have the effect that it did when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, what they used to put on TV was actually gory.
And it used to scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, today it just doesn't seem to have that effect. But maybe that's due to a lack of... or not a lack thereof, but just...
kids don't have to use their imaginations anymore.
Yeah,
It's all in front of them.
Yeah. You get a kid on a computer, they'll have seen so many things so many times by the time 2 years have gone by, that if you walk up behind them and grab them by the shoulders and scream like, they could give you no reaction, because it's all just so common.
I would imagine, after talking to you for nearly an hour, that your favorite time of the year is Halloween?
Yeah, I enjoy Halloween. It's not bad. But, you get yourself the right chick, Halloween could be every day.
Yeah. Well, that's another
Yeah,
topic for a
Elvira.
different show.
Yeah, get yourself an Elvira.
There you go. There you go. Where is your book available?
It's all over the internet on Kobo and iTunes and Google Play, and it's available at Chapters, and you can get it through Friesen Press, and anywhere that you can order a book, you can order Liquid Diamond.
All right,
So
stand.
it's all over.
Okay, stand by, Sebastian. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exonation, we're talking about magic portals, adventure, gore, and I'm going to say it, this is a love story. Because, well, let's face it, if you wouldn't have met Natalia, you wouldn't have wrote this book. She was the inspiration, your muse. And I don't know, I still say I think that you're a catalyst in this entire thing. Exonation, Sebastien Blue is our guest, www.sebastianblue.com. He's the author of Liquid Diamond. And Sebastian and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we wrap up this edition of The X Zone from our broadcast center here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stine, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Exonation, I guess this hour has been Sebastien Blue. He has he just can't get enough reading done. And he loves reading worldwide classical literature and a huge fan of horror movies. Since he was a boy, his love of foreign folklore and mythology inspired him to launch his first book series. Sebastian is a strong believer that in addition to providing entertainment, young adult books should provide empowering and encouraging messages. Rising from an impoverished background and facing struggles with dyslexia, Sebastien Blue's ultimate goal is to promote literacy and creativity. Now, the name of his first book is entitled Liquid Diamond. It's available everywhere on the internet. And if you go to your local bookstore, they don't have it, they can order it. Once again, Sebastien Blue is his name, and the name of his book is Liquid Diamond. Now, first of all, Sebastien, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Congratulations on your book, and congratulations for beating the odds and for taking dyslexia by the horns and coming out with your book. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that you are an inspiration that young people who suffer with dyslexia need to hear your story, because it will give them hope. It will give them a goal. It will give them the empowerment that they so desperately need.
Well, you're welcome, and I thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. You're one of the most impressive interviews that I've had to date, and
Wow.
I'm glad to be here.
What's the message you'd like to give to the members of the X-Zone Nation who are listening to us right now around the world?
Encourage a child, and you'll change tomorrow.
That is so plain,
Yes.
that is so simple, but that is so powerful.
Yep.
And you see, my friend, this is why you need to get out and share your message, because you
And like,
empower. You've got what it takes. You've done it. You're a success story. And
I gave you my word earlier. By noon tomorrow, I will give these people a call, and if they want to use me, they can take a crack. That'll be just fine.
I have to ask you, Liquid Diamond, where did you come up with the idea for that title?
Girls like diamonds. And if you're going to give them one, you might as well give them a liquid one, because no other girl has it. And so, Liquid Diamond.
You see, this is why I say it's a love story. It brings me right back to the love story. The inspiration behind the story is very deep and it's heartfelt.
Well, I care about the woman.
Yeah.
I wish her all the best in the world, and I hope she gets everything she wants and all her dreams are fulfilled. And, now she's a character, and it's out there, and that can't be changed no matter what. And, not to demean her birth certificate, but certainly to tack onto it. There you go.
Here you go. She's going to live for eternity thanks to you.
Well, as long as man lives, maybe one day, 500 years from now, somebody will find it in a couple of books and go, "Hey, who's that Natalia Shurkowskaya?"
Sebastian, I want
go.
to thank you ever so much, my friend. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. Continued success. And if there's anything we can do, you just let us know. We'll be here for you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rob.
You take care of yourself,
Sorry.
young man. Bye-bye now.
You too.
X-Zone Nation,
Bye.
Sebastien Blue has been my guest this hour. www.sebastianblue.com. He's the author of Liquid Diamond. What a guy. Inspiration. He can change minds, he can change hearts, he can change lives. Why? Because he's done it himself. It's that simple. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. So until tomorrow night, my friends, take care of each other and always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.